Hello YouTube, StatueHunter's Bags and Boards here with big momentous episode 80, big 80. It's New Comic Book Wednesday. It's July 10th, 2019. And my first stop of the day, went to Harrison's Comics and I picked up some books. So I picked up, while I was at Harrison's, let's see what I got. I got Strange Lands #1 from H Comics. No idea what that is. I don't think they had any major solicitations about this. I didn't see any in anything. I'm double checking just to make sure, but I don't think there was any major solicitations about this because it's really an independent comic. I don't even know what H stands for, what kind of studio or whatever it is. But H1 Studio, I guess. I don't know. But you never know, that could get optioned. I was also able to pick up, I was on vacation last week, so I wasn't able to pick these up there last week. So John took care of me and held these aside for me. 2 beautiful copies of Walking Dead 193 in beautiful condition for cover price. So that was beautiful. Also came out this week, the second printing of Agents of Atlas #3, New Agents of Atlas #3, with that new character on the cover. So this might be, you never know, it might be a short print run, so that might be worth something down the road. First cover appearance or something like that, but I don't know. From an independent studio, Boombox, I got Ghosted in LA. This is basically a woman moves to LA after a breakup and she finds a deal on a new place that seems too good to be true. So Ghosted in LA almost looks like a Brady Bunch type cover there. And this is the A cover, I believe, right here. And that was the variant cover from Boombox. So there you have it. I also picked up from Storm King Comics, John Carpenter's. John Carpenter does, a lot of horror movies. The science fiction. Oh, I'm sorry. John Carpenter's Tales of Science Fiction. So, Surviving Nuclear Attack, issue #2 of 5. The Family Fallout Shelter. Your one defense against fallout. Get your free booklet from Arcanite. So I don't know much about this, but I just grabbed it. Looked like an obscure title. I didn't see much solicitation on it either. This next book is an Image #1. I always try to pick up Image #1s. And it's Image Skybound #1. It's Reaver #1. And basically the solicitation for this says, the Imperials must call upon Hell's half-dozen, a despicable assembly of prisoners who are the only hope to stop a war that ravages the hopeful continent of Madras. So that was Reaver #1. Picked up the Black Cat Carnageized Black Cat #2. This is a beautiful Mark Brooks variant, and I just love it. And it's also the Carnageized variant. So I picked up 2 of these here. I picked up a few at the other locations too, but just such a beautiful cover from Mark Brooks. Great artist, one of my favorites. And then I picked up a few of the Blood Splatter, Symbiote Splatter, whatever you want to call it, covers of Black Cat #2 at cover price. Beautiful J. Scott Campbell cover art there with Black Cat kind of breaking in with the security looking under her, not even knowing she's right above them with the jewels. Very nice. Love J. Scott Campbell's art, so I picked up another one of the symbiote versions. Also picked up the Source #4 from Scout Comics. This has been a popular book among many people, so figured I'd grab it. There was no major solicitation on it. Just wanted to keep going with, I have 1, 2, and 3, so just wanted to keep going with it, so I grabbed it. And then Transformers, I just grabbed this for the cards that come free, the pack of cards. This was actually from like last week, I think. So nothing big there. just grab that for the cards for free. So, there you have it. That was from Harrison's Comics. Moving on to my next big stop. My good friend Anthony and Pete over there at and Lauren over there at Paper Asylum. One of my top favorite comic shops of all time. I mean, this comic shop is pretty much the Amazing Fantasy 15 of comic shops. If you haven't checked them out yet, check out Paper Asylum on Cabot Street in Beverly, please. These guys are great. Anthony takes such good care of me. I know I'm a good customer and I do spend a lot of money there every week, but not only that, he takes good care of me. This guy, you know, he doesn't have to do this, but he does it. Probably, I don't know, because I'm a good customer, I don't know. Maybe he does this for a lot of his customers, but I wouldn't expect it of a comic shop. But he kind of goes over and above. And I don't know if he does this for everybody. Maybe he does it for me because I do spend a lot of money there. But I don't know. But I just for a comic shop, like I'm not trying to call him out here. You know, like he should be doing this for everybody. But not saying that at all. But I'm saying this extra step that he takes just really makes me appreciate this shop so much. Like now, I wasn't able to make it to them for. Because I was on vacation last week. So he had all my books from last week bagged and boarded. Doesn't have to do that. It costs money. It was just such a nice touch. And like the fact that he does that to kind of keep my books protected. You know, I mean, just night and day with other comic book shops. Like Newbury Comics, which really isn't even a comic book shop. It's a shame to call them a comic book shop. I mean, the subscription discount there is nice and all that. And they do get a lot of good variants. But Newbury Comics, they, no offense to them, but they hire a lot of people. They go through a lot of people, and they know nothing about comics. Nothing. Most of them. There are a few select people that know some stuff about comics in there. They're comic captains, but like they're the help that they go through, like tissues through the seasons and stuff. Like one girl was ringing up my books, and she was like jamming them together, and they were in between the register and I was buying some bags and boards, so the brick of boards were there, and the books were curling up in between the register and the boards. I'm like, I'm cringing. I'm like, can you kind of keep the book straight? Like, you're damaging the book. You pay a lot of money for them. They do go up in value. Like, but night and day to go to a place like Paper Asylum where you find your books protected, bagged, and boarded, waiting for you. Like I said, it's not something that he should be expected to do, but he does it for me sometimes, and it's just a really nice touch. So, from last week, I picked up Thumbs number 2. This was also from last week, Sea of Stars number 1. I'm not sure which cover that was. I believe this was from last week as well. This is one of the cardstock covers for the Year of the Villain. It's Deathstroke 45. I believe this was there was a new Deathstroke in this. This was from last week. I picked this up. I talked about all these books last week when I had the solicitation in front of me. Lois Lane, number 1, the Jenny Frisson variant, this really cool Green Lantern variant cover, which I loved. He put aside this for me because the Conan gets kind of symbiote powers with the symbiote sword. One of the carnagized variant, which with Elektra, which I loved. He also grabbed a copy of the facsimile copy of the New Mutants 98 First Appearance of Deadpool. And this was also from last week, Immortal Hulk, the carnagized variant, and the Red Harpy regular cover A on there. This was from last week as well, the Fantastic Four, the Prodigal Son. I believe this was from last week, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it was. And Arrow number 1, and the 2 beautiful Art Germ covers that I had him set aside for me. He also set aside, now this might be from this week. I think we're getting into this week now, which is cool because nobody had this, the variant of the Source number 4. Now, some places had the regular cover. This is the variant cover. Psyched, stoked that he had that for me. The symbiote splatter, blood splatter, whatever you want to call it, Black Cat. He set one of those aside for me. And the beautiful Mark Brooks carnagized variant. He set aside one of those for me. Thank you very much. This beautiful Invisible Woman number 1 beautiful Adam Hughes cover. I love Adam Hughes' artwork, and looks very cool, very Charlie's Angels-ish. Very nice artwork there. And basically it's the first solo limited series featuring the Invisible Woman. So that's the major solicitation about it. Here's a cardstock cover for the Year of the Villain. It's the Catwoman number 13, and of course, who is that? Whose symbol is that? Whose signature is that? One of my favorite artists, Stanley Archer Lau. So it's a beautiful cover. So I had Anthony put that aside for me. The Amazing Spider-Man 25, the Carnageized variant, and he also set aside the regular source cover for me. Actually, let me put these together. So the regular source cover A for source number 4 from Scout Comics, and the variant. So very stoked to get that. I already spoke on this earlier. Reaver number 1, he set aside a copy of that for me. And Naomi, the big finale, Naomi number 6. So basically this is it's also first appearance. It's the first full appearance of Zumbado. And it is the final issue of the Naomi six-issue series. This was from last week. No One Left to Fight. This was a hot book from last week. That went up pretty quickly in value. And I grabbed a few Transformers from him. Like I said, I was buying these just for the cards. Also from last week, he had set aside for me the commemorative edition of Rick Grimes. And of course, held these for me at cover price. Thank you, Anthony. 2 copies of The Walking Dead, $193, because it was the final issue. One of these copies might get a freaking gem mint 10. It's in pristine condition. Really nice. Of course, because he kept them bagged and boarded for me, because he's Anthony and he's awesome. And I also got, seriously, if you guys are looking for a comic shop where the owners or the proprietors take such pride in their craft, like Anthony finds comics for me that I have the hardest time finding. I had the hardest time finding Akira number 1. I know it's option. Whenever it's option, he knows too, and he still gives me a fair deal all the time. He always gives me a good deal. He found that for me. I was so stoked that he had it. He found there's just been so many obscure ones that I had a hard time finding, and he hunted them down and got them for me. So, and some of these he special ordered for me, which I'm psyched. This one was really cool. I flipped through this. Really graphic, really perverted, a lot of nudity and stuff. Nasty Pills from a totally obscure independent comic, Amigo. This is issue number 1 of 2. Definitely check it out if you get a chance. It's really cool to read. Obviously some drugs in there and stuff. Nasty Pills. 1 of 2. Very stoked that I got this. I definitely want him to grab me issue 2. Anthony, if you're watching, I definitely want issue 2 of 2 also when that comes out. He told me about this. He knows I love my variants. This is a wicked cool, big, huge Bruce Lee fan, and this is Bruce Lee's son, the late Brandon Lee, the late Bruce Lee's son, from the awesome movie, cult classic, The Crow. I loved that movie. Even went as him for Halloween when I was in college, had the hair grown long. We don't need to get into that, but you know, just loved The Crow, loved Brandon Lee as the Crow in that movie from a while ago, back when I was in college. But he grabbed this for me. Just a really cool, cool variant. This is the Crow Hack Slash number 1 Virgin variant, limited to 600 copies, and the cover art is by Mike Crutchfield. So when he showed me that, he's like, I think this, like Anthony will come up to me and or message me or whatever, or in the store tell me, hey, I got something, Dean. I think this is right up your alley, like that. You know, he knows which variants I like and stuff like that. They did a beautiful store variant, which I just recently videoed on one of my past episodes of Bags and Boards. The Kunkka, Kendrick Lim, his rendition or variant of the Red Sonja. Beautiful cover art. Sideshow Collectibles actually did not print of it. It was so good. Just a really hot cover. So this Anthony showed me a long time ago. He said, hey, I have this. I think you're going to like it. You like the zombie shit and stuff like that. And I think you're going to like these. Really hot covers. They're really popular and they're selling out like crazy. So he said you might want this. So I ended up actually trading him. Really fair deal. Traded some stuff for these. So I got these in the trade. So the 3 of these was part of the trade that I made a while ago with them. So this is the Deceased number 2. So just beautiful. And he even put it in a nice top loader and a clear board. So you can see the front and back of it, which is awesome. I don't know if you guys can see that clear board in there. It's kind of rounded right there. See the clear board? Really nice touch. I don't know if he did this or if the Comics Elite or whoever did this. I'm pretty sure Anthony probably did it. But anyway, yeah, it is a Comics Elite exclusive. This is the, hopefully I don't butcher a name, the John Yang Comics Elite exclusive. So this is Deceased cover A. It comes with a certificate of authenticity. It's numbered to 3,000, I believe. 3,000 of cover A were printed, and 1,500 of the lowest grade copies were destroyed. The rest were sold individually, each accompanied by this numbered COA verifying the print run. This is issue number 522 of 1,500. That's pretty cool. I don't go crazy about the COAs, but that is cool. Really like that. And this is cover B, Deceased number 2. You could get a good look at that crazy artwork of Batman, zombified Batman. So we see Comics Elite. This exclusive John Yang variant comic edition, cover edition, is presented by Comics Elite. And we see this is the Deceased 2 cover B. And then the same thing. And this one was number 76 of 1,000. So this was numbered to 1,000. The other one was numbered to 1,500. So that's cool. And this one, the Virgin, I'm assuming there's probably going to be even less of this. This is the Virgin cover. And this Comics Elite, certificate of authenticity. John Yang, variant cover edition presented by Comics Elite. Deceased 2 cover C. And this was 1,000 of cover C, 500 were destroyed, the lowest grade. So this is number 168 of 500. Very cool, very cool. Very awesome, very happy to have these in the collection. Thank you, Anthony. And another thing that he pulled aside and he said I would probably like was this. This is the, I believe this is also a Comics Elite exclusive of the Immortal Hulk number 19 and the Virgin variant cover. So really hot stuff. Very happy to have that in the collection as well. And of course, the beautiful Comics Elite exclusive of Amazing Spider-Man 24, the Ryan Brown variant. I did not, the Virgin was sold out, so I wasn't able to get that. In a previous video, you saw I did buy 2 of these because they were only $12.99 a piece on the website. But Anthony let me know, hey, I got the set for you. And I was like, I want it because I wanted the Virgin. Look at the cover, it's beautiful. I already went over this in detail in previous videos. It's just so cool how Spider-Man's one of the eyeballs of Kindred. This new villain Kindred with his mummified wraps and his rotted teeth. Very cool, very cool. So happy to have that. That wraps up my wonderful trip to Paper Asylum on Cabot Street in Beverly. Like I said, if you're looking for a good shop and you're anywhere near the Beverly area, I've sent a lot of friends there. I highly recommend it. Get StatueHunter's 75's comic seal of approval. That is one great comic shop where they will put you first as a customer. Check them out, please do. Go see Paper Asylum. Go see Anthony or Pete or even Lauren. Next up is another great comic shop. It's one of my these are my 2 favorite comic shops. I hate to pull favorites because they're both very good to me. In all honesty, they both take very good care of me. Eric over at Counterplay Comics in Burlington takes very good care of me, and Anthony over at Paper Asylum takes very good care of me. So I'm not gonna play an absolute favorite and name one as the best. I think they're both wonderful stores. So if you're in respective areas to Burlington or Beverly, I happen to live near Burlington and I happen to work in Beverly. So, you know, I'm fortunate enough to be near both those stores on New Comic Book Wednesday. So those are stores you want to check out, definitely. So like I said, this is now we're venturing into Counterplay Comics in Burlington, my other favorite comic store, where Eric took good care of me and he found me a Copy of Jupiter's Legacy #1 for a great price. Actually, 1, 2, and 3 sold me the whole set for a great price. This is a Mark Millar, and everything he's doing is being optioned with Netflix, so maybe these might get optioned. We'll see. Picked up the Miles Morales #8. This is actually supposedly another new villain. Like 2 weeks ago, there was a new villain, and now this is another new villain in this one. He looks kind of like a rapper in that video with the hood. I mean, in that video, in that cover, they kind of made him, portrayed him to look like he kind of looks like a rapper with the hood. I'm trying to think of who it is that he looks like right now, but I can't peg it. But this is the first appearance of the Assessor, is the new villain in this one, so I grabbed this. Of course, I picked up the Carnageized variant. Scooped that up, another Mark Brooks cover. Picked up the regular cover, the only place I grabbed the regular cover of the Black Cat, and he did actually have a symbiote blood splatter cover for me too. This is just beautiful artwork of Red Sonja, Birth of the She-Devil #2. So very pretty cover. I picked up just a regular cover, no super special variant like the Kunka Lim Paper Asylum variant from last week of #1. But it is beautiful also. Very beautiful artwork, so I picked it up. Naomi #6, we already went over about that. Invisible Woman #1, picked up another copy of that because it's an Adam Hughes cover, and I do love Adam Hughes. There you see the trademark AH, so I picked that up. Second Coming. Now this was a new #1, and you never know. This might be turned into something, but the solicitation is Jesus Christ returns to Earth and realizes his teachings have been distorted, so he teams with a Superman-like hero to rediscover his inner Messiah. Initially, DC was to publish, but due to conservative backlash, they dropped the title, and Ahoy Comics took over the rights. Gotta be liberal and afraid of everything nowadays. But anyway, let's not get political. So I grabbed that because it was a #1 issue. Another #1 issue, Unearthed #1. I picked this up with the A cover and the variant. A scientific task force traces a flesh-eating disease to a cave only to discover a hostile ecosystem and a supernatural revelation. And like I said, there was a variant of this. This is the variant cover art by Kyle Stram. So this is the variant, and this is the cover A. So picked up both copies. Picked up the Carnageized variant of Thor #15. This is where Thor gets his new hammer powers, and this is the Carnageized variant because everything is all hyped about Carnage with the Carnage, eventually the new Venom movie coming out with Carnage being in it, so everything Carnage nowadays. So basically, this is the epilogue to the War of the Realms. Thor's new role as the Allfather in this. Picked up Venom #16, the Carnageized variant of Venom, which is kind of funny. Basically, I picked up the A cover too because it's just a beautiful cover. Donny Cates returns to this Venom title. And what I love about this is if you look really close, Jim from Jim's Comics, Jim Comics pointed this out on his video, which is really observant. The Venom in the ice cream sundae and the symbiote kind of going towards Dylan, the son, Dylan Brock. So that is pretty cool. It's almost like a shadow there too, kind of looks like that. But really cool, really cool. So, but I think nothing panned out with the new symbiote in that episode. People were complaining about that, saying it's definitely going to be happening #17. But you know what? That was a really cool cover out, so I picked it up. Unnatural. Everything's kind of venomized these days. Almost looks like a symbiote there on the cover of Unnatural 11. Unnatural. Merker and Dolfo's Unnatural issue #11. So I picked up that cover. That cover's pretty cool. There's the Thor cover A. Like I said, Thor's new role as the Allfather. Gets his hammer with some new powers too, I think. Then I picked up yet another blood splatter symbiote, Black Cat, because you can't get enough of those blood splatter Black Cat, J. Scott Campbell variants. Another cool Adam Hughes cover, Superman #13, the cardstock, and it's a cool Adam Hughes artwork of Lois Lane, so I picked that up. Now this one was Giant Size Ecstatic #1. And this is, I think there's a few, first appearance. It's the first appearance of a new Yugo girl. And it's also the reintroduction of Ecstatic. So, or Ecstatics, whatever you want to call it. So I picked up the A cover and the B variant cover. Also picked up War of the Realms Omega #1. Basically, Jane Foster becomes Valkyrie in this. So that is a pretty key issue with Jane Foster becoming Valkyrie. I also, whoops, shaking the camera. I also picked up the variant cover of it. And got a Secret Warps Weapon Hex. That's kind of funny. Weapon H, Weapon X. So I picked that up too. Really like the cover, and I remember Jim from Jim Comics saying keep an eye on these Secret Warps. They're gonna get big, so picked up not only that, it's also a beautiful cover art. So I liked it. Very pretty cover art. Picked up the variant edition as well. Another cool cover. So, and another copy of the Amazing Spider-Man #25 variant, the Carnage variant. Picked that up too. It's pretty cool with her touching the mirror and the mirror touching her. The Carnage version. Picked up the Amazing Spider-Man 25, another copy. 60 pages of Spider-Man Mania. Pretty cool with a female Electro too. Picked up a True Believers #1 of Carnage. It did not cost $15. I just swapped out a bag of board. And the really cool thing, Eric came through for me, like these two wonderful comic stores. Anthony always comes through for me over at Paper Asylum, and Eric always comes through for me over at Contemplate Comics. Really fair price on this one when the thing's selling for like $50, $60. So Eric sold this to me for a really, really fair price. Wasn't exactly cover, but it wasn't much higher than cover, so it was a fair price for what they're going for now. So happy to pick this up and throw it in a bag of board, maybe someday get it slabbed. Oh, and I also picked up Teen Titans #8 for a fair price as well. The first Ravager or whatever it is. So pick that up as well. So that finally wraps us up. Whoa, 27-minute video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please give a thumbs up if you did like the video. And subscribe. Remember to subscribe and tell your friends. And if you do subscribe, hit the little bell so it'll let you know every time I post a new video with good content. Alright guys, have a great evening, and happy New Comic Book Wednesday.